Hey there, how's it going? Where are we going today?
It's going great. We're headed to the future where grades are not broken.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. You should tell me some more about that. How has proficiency-based grading work impacted assessment practices and design in your classroom? And how have you addressed this with your content PLC?
Well, so far I've incorporated some of the fixes, like eliminating grading practices around student behavior, attendance, late work, extra credit, dishonesty, those kinds of things. I've also tried to include students more in their grading process. I still need to kind of work out some kinks with calculating grades and separating grades and the evidence to the standards.
So this year I switched from letter grades to the 1 through 4 rubric. It's something I've been trying to do anyway, trying to take sort of the daily work and the behavior out of the grade and have it really be focused on skills. So it wasn't a huge change in my classroom, but I found that I was much more intentional about the work we were doing and what was going to be labeled as assessment and what was going to be practice or daily work. And I had to work through some bugs with what to collect and what to assess and how it all fit together.
And then in our PLCs, my PLC, the world languages, we imported all of our standards and started aligning them to our summative assessments. And this process is going to be continued for pretty much forever, but certainly this summer to be ready.
So the Language Arts Social Study PLC set a goal that every teacher would use a rubric to grade at least once per quarter. And some of us, this was pretty... we'd been doing it for a while, but for some people it was sort of a brand new thing. So we wrote rubrics together, and just through that whole process, the entire department now is using proficiency grading for the final quarter of the school year.
Well, that sounds like some great work is going on in your classroom. What challenges do you foresee for staff as we continue to move forward in implementing these proficiency grading school-wide?
So I think that the biggest challenge for our staff is kind of the embarrassment of realizing that your grades are in fact broken and that you're not just assessing the student achievement, but you're actually including all these other things in our current grading system. So making that ideological switch, I think, is one of the biggest challenges. And for me personally, reading the book, A Repair Kit for Grading, and learning about those fixes was that catalyst, that start where I could make that ideological switch, so then I can put those things into practical use into my classroom.
I think that one of the big challenges is going to be what to do with student behavior, because so much of middle school is about teaching kids how to be students and how to get to class on time and turn their work in on time. And so making a switch to not grading down for late work, not giving extra credit, all of those sorts of things will be difficult, and we'll need some sort of system of accountability for student behavior, some way to report it.
That sounds great. What has happened this year to help grow and support this process already?
Well, for us personally, I think being involved in our building leadership team and having those meetings, reading the book, A Repair Kit for Grading, and learning about the 15 fixes and having practical ways to implement them into our class has been at least the starting point for me this year.
I think for me the starting point personally was the declaration from the state that we were all going to have to be using proficiency grading, and that came from the district as well, and it was something I'd been thinking of. My PLC did a lot of work around proficiency grading, and again, like Clady said, the BLT in the book, and just the opportunity to kind of discuss it and think it through and troubleshoot for how we're going to help staff be prepared to implement.
Excellent. I'm so excited to get there and to start this important work at school.
So are we.
Let's go off to the future.
Okay.
All right.
Where grades are not broken. Woo! Hey, look! Hey, don't we know you from somewhere?
Yeah, the past.
Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go. Hey, how's your cat doing?
Hey, doing good. Good to see you.
Shown to people. Thank you so much.